Sent for review from Data Discs is the Radiant Silvergun double vinyl soundtrack. With music composed by Hitoshi Sakamoto, Radiant Silvergun is a highly popular bullet hell shooter from the creative team at Treasure, originally released in the arcades and Sega Saturn in 1998. Retailing for about $35 US, the set was released on a limited edition orange, red, and clear limited edition, and orange and classic black vinyl variant. The front of the package showcases some attractive game artwork. In the back lists the 26 tracks contained on the set. Data Disc stuffed this set with some additional goodies as well. First up is the double-sided lithograph print, showcasing the artwork from the front of the package. The opposite side shows the artwork seen on the original Sega Saturn release of the game. While supplies last, you also receive a sticker sheet of some artwork of the game characters, which is a first for Data Discs. You also get a fold-out poster that showcases some additional game artwork. I personally have never seen this artwork before, so I was pleasantly surprised this artwork was included in the set. When I was asking some additional questions about this release to our Data Disc rep, he mentioned that both Data Disc and Treasure CEO thought this artwork was unused concept art from the 90s. However, neither were able to confirm this 100%, so it wasn't advertised as such. If you've seen this art prior to this release, please let us know. We'd be interested to hear about it. As mentioned before, the set contains 26 tracks remastered by Data Discs, which were sourced from files sent by Treasure and a Japanese Sega Saturn. The first disc is comprised of the game's original compositions, as they were prior to any conversion to the arcade or Sega Saturn. It is a real treat to hear what Sakamoto originally intended the game's music to sound like. The second disc is what ended up on the Sega Saturn, and while not completely different, there are some major changes, such as some orchestral instruments from the original composition replaced with synth sounds. Sakamoto's soundtrack is much more of a thematic, orchestrated sounding soundtrack, and it's not your standard fast-paced synth beat soundtrack that you usually find on shmups. I found this change to be a really enjoyable experience. While I've always been a fan of the game, I can't say that I'm particularly good at it, as it is pretty difficult. So a lot of these tracks were new experiences for me, as I've never gotten to later levels in the game. As what is pretty much standard for Data Disc, the soundtrack remastering sounds great on 180 gram vinyl, with the vinyl itself feeling of the highest quality. So what do I think of this release? With inclusion of both versions of the soundtrack, as well as printed bonus materials, it's easy to recommend this release. My only hope is to see that Data Disc and Treasure continue the relationship, and who knows, maybe in the future we'll even see something like a Ikaruga release. Well, that wraps it up for this review. Please let us know what you think, and as always, thanks for watching.